beautifully.
The 64 car is Christian Danner. He started in 21st position. He now runs 11th. Nice steady fire throughout the entire run of the race, and you got a glimpse of Adrian Fernandez there, involved in confrontation earlier, but was able to get the car back into the running. 66 laps now complete. Jacques Villeneuve may be looking at his second IndyCar victory. Back live in Miami, a race that is now 68 laps old. It's scheduled for 90 laps or 2 hours, whichever comes first. Jack Arute, right now it looks like 90 laps is going to come first. So the question I would have is, what about fuel for a number of these teams?
Well, Paul, remember during that last stop, we said some crews were taking the gamble that it would go only the 2-hour distance. Now everybody's recalculating because the speed is picked up. They feel they're going to go to the 90 laps that was advertised. And here's what's happened. Bobby Rahal says they have enough to go the distance, enough fuel. His counterpart, Raul Boesel, does not. They feel they will have to go back and have a splash and go. For Robbie Gordon, the situation is thus. They feel they've got enough, but his problem is with the throttle sticking. He may have to come in as well. What about your end of the pits, Gary?
Well, Jack, everybody that we're checking here seems to be in good shape. That group includes Jacques Villeneuve. They say they're right on target. They're delighted with their fuel mileage they're getting thus far. Scott Pruitt's crew says the same. They're good till the end of the race. Also, the Pac West team, Gugelmin and Sullivan, okay to the end of the event.
Villeneuve is the leader. There's second place, Mauricio Gugelmin, Bobby Rahal third, Scott Pruitt. First 3 cars are on Goodyear tires. Scott Pruitt is on Firestone. Danny Sullivan runs in 5th place. But we watch now the 18 car, the Pac West machine of Mauricio Gugelmin, who's trying to stalk down the leader of the race.
There's no more affable driver than Gugelmin, accessible to anyone at any time, a terrific guy to be around.
Just think, if a race were to end like this, think how bad that the Pac West guys are going to feel knowing that they actually lost the race in the pits. Not on the racetrack, but in the pits.
Well, take it the other way. How good are Barry Green's guys going to feel that they won it in the pits for Jack?
They're going to feel really good if that's what happens.
And, of course, they'll spread more money around, right?
That's right.
Remember, in this day and age, it isn't just the driver or the driver in the car. It's very much the crew chief that counts as a tactician, a man who works out the overall strategy as well sometimes. And Barry Green is always mentioned among the superstars in that category. If you race Barry Green, you know you've really got your hands full.
That's a lot of what makes our racing really good, Sam, is the pit stops. That really makes it exciting because it's like you said, it's teamwork.
Danny Sullivan, the year off didn't hurt him a bit.
Well, he has dropped, of course, from 3rd and a more ambitious positioning on the track, now down to 5th. You wonder about his fitness. He is 44 years old, the 2nd oldest driver in the race. Emerson Fittipaldi, 48. I doubt it. I mean, he's been pouring on the fitness as only he can, exercising, but there's nothing like driving a race car. Danny could conceivably be tiring. Just speculation.
Robbie Gordon just went out and around Eddie Cheever, putting him down a lap. Eddie Cheever runs in 16th place, driving the famous 14 of A.J. Foyt.
We were watching Robbie Gordon a couple of days ago when he was out here running, and we watched his hands. You watch his hands on the steering wheel that you just saw there, how smooth it is. The other day he was jerking all over the track with the car that he was in, ultimately having some accidents, having some problems. He's really smoothed out during the race. Now that's what his car owners and that's what his sponsors are looking for. The boy really has a lot of talent, but he needs to smooth out a little bit.
And he also, Bobby, needs to win a race this year.
Danny Sullivan loops it in front of Robbie Gordon. Gordon climbs on the brakes. He gets around him. Danny's going to try to get the car going again. He's got the engine still fired. Jimmy Vasser comes around. Christian Fittipaldi comes around.
These cars don't have a good turning radius, and he's not going to be able to back that thing up.
They got a terrible turning radius. He needs somebody to push him back. He needs those men to come out. Look at him giving him the hand signal. Yeah. He needs it so desperately. He's done such a good race. And he's losing it right now and losing it bad.
One of the IndyCar safety teams, as well as one of the course marshal members, is there. And they need to get through that fence and get Danny going. Danny Sullivan was running in 5th.
Look at this man is thinking he wants to get through the fence. He needs to do it. He wants to get pushed back. It's almost past tense now because it's going to be too late. Here he comes. You can see the rear wheels lit up. He got her loose, spun it around. But show you about experience, he's keeping the engine running. Now, while the engine's sitting there, incidentally, it's getting hot because there's no air flowing to it. They'll get hot in a hurry. Now watch, he's turning to the left as far as he can, but like you said, Paul, they won't turn very far. He's run out of room, he's on the grass, he's against the wall.
All right, now put this one into the strategy. Let's see how fast they can get that car off of the course as we ride with Robbie Gordon, because they've just gone full course yellow. But once again, the time factor may be a factor. Look at that.
Remember when Danny spun in front of Mario Andretti at Indianapolis and went on to win? That anniversary is coming up exactly on its 10th anniversary this year.
That Robbie Gordon did not know which side to go on. Boy, was he trying to make a decision there.
So with a full course yellow out once again, 72 laps or 90 of complete. Might be a 2-hour race as well. We'll be back after this message. Back live in Miami, that's Alicio Salazar standing over on the left side of your screen there, looking down on his number 7 car that did this under the full course yellow. Look at the Vortici coming off the wing through that smoke. Does that tell you something about downforce?
Oh, man. You know what really is happening there, Paul, is the cylinder head of something breaks and the water is going to the turbocharger, causing all that white smoke.
Nevertheless, it fogged the course up for a bit. We were under full course yellow anyway. It may lengthen that a little bit. 74 laps are complete. So the leaders, once again, packed up behind the pace car. 10 cars, all right together there, all fighting for position as they get Danny Sullivan back underway so he can rejoin this pack, but he'll be well down in the field.
When the race resumes, it's going to be an incredible struggle between the youth of Jacques Villeneuve and the experience of Bobby Rahal, I think, as this thing develops, because I think Rahal may very well get past Guzman and take on Villeneuve.
You don't see Guzman as a factor?
I see him as a factor. I think we're going to see a lot of Bobby Rahal.
Let's get a pool going, Sam. I disagree with you.
Robbie Gordon went out to make a move, tried to get around Scott Pruitt, battle back in the field, didn't get it done. Focus is on the front. Gordon, boy, he came way wide off of that corner. On board, Robbie Gordon.
You can see all the fence wavering. That's from the air that the cars are disturbing as they go by. They're not really hitting the wall, causing the fence to do that.
And that's a chain link fence.
Static at the front with the first 4 positions. Though Pruitt now beginning to battle with Bobby Rahal. Battle between Firestone and Goodyear.
You know, this is the right time of the race to really see what the tires are doing. The track is about as slippery as it's going to get. So the Firestone guys and the Goodyear guys are all looking at this. Leo Mel himself is here, looking from Goodyear to see how the tires are going to react at the end of the race. Here's one of the best contests I could ever believe for that.
The amazing thing is the challenge of the tire builders. They have to build for a track like this, then a mile speedway like Phoenix, and then they have to build the super speedway tires for Indianapolis, where they have to go 225 and more.
Of course, Scott Pruitt has spent a fairly lonely year testing those tires so they would be ready for this comeback into IndyCar racing.
And that's testing with no publicity or anything. Everything was deep secret. Wouldn't let anybody see it, know what was going on, and Firestone came out, and they've really done a good job. I'm sure that Leo Mel from Goodyear is really watching that today, wondering, did Firestone really catch up this quick?
Everybody maintains position. Fittipaldi working at the back of Jimmy Vasser. Villeneuve, Guzman, Rahal, Pruitt, Robbie Gordon, top 5. Then Vasser, Fittipaldi, Brian Herta, Raul Boesel, and Christian Danner rounding out the top 10. Vasser is that target car in front there. The second target car in the line right behind Fittipaldi is Brian Herta.
Herta, remember, injured badly at Toronto last year. This is his first race back. He's had the whole winter to convalesce. It's good to see him racing again, and competitive too.
On board Brian Herta, the 8th place car. Villeneuve is 9/10 of a second ahead of Mauricio Guzman in front. We'll keep looking here.
With the onboard cameras in the cars, we can watch the guys' hands, and especially on this track, see how much they work. That kind of tells you how they're handling and how hard they're hustling the cars. Brian Herta, for example, really is smooth. He's just glass smooth.
Boy, very tidy at that chicane for Herta for sure, Bobby.
Oh, Fittipaldi's right there at the back of Vassar's car. Fittipaldi making a charge now. Battle for 5th or 6th place. Battle for 6th.
Remember Fittipaldi having his first race in an Indy car. Do not confuse him with his uncle Emerson. Did I get it right?
You got it right, Sam.
Good.
77 laps complete, 90 laps scheduled distance. We're still looking at a race at distance. But the 2-hour time limit is going to be fairly close behind it. 10 cars all on the leader lap.
Tires after a yellow are always a little bit faster. You see that most of the passing and most of the charging and most of the fights going on right after yellow. They'll lay back sometimes, let their tires cool off, because these cars really use their tires hard. And so then they only have a little bit before they get them hot again to make another run for a pass.
This is a good battle between Vassar here and Fittipaldi, representing Vassar, of course, a great up-and-coming American driver. Fittipaldi, a guy who was coming up through the European ranks, has finished as high as 3rd and 4th in Formula One. Look at that.
Oh, Christian Fittipaldi right underneath. Scared him so bad that Herta came under him too.
Whoa.
There's something wrong with the car. It just almost quit and slowed down.
Look at it dart.
Big time.
Al Unser Jr. right behind him. Al goes well off the pace of the race.
Yeah, there's something went wrong with the car there, because it doesn't slow down that much just because he made a little bit of mistake.
Can you believe a race, an IndyCar race in this age where we have not seen Al Unser Jr. almost all day, way out front? Isn't it amazing?
Well, let's consider this. If he stays where he is, Al Unser Jr. won't finish in the points. Emerson Fittipaldi won't finish in the points. They were 1st and 2nd in the points last year. Other considerations in that whole points battle, you're going to see a lot of names.
Paul Tracy won't finish in the points. He was 3rd.
Michael Andretti, who led this race and took the pole, only leads here with 2 points, 1 for leading the most laps and 1 for the pole, and that's it.
You know, with Vassar's car, it almost looked like maybe it didn't pick up the fuel for a moment there. He was hooked up and going real good, and all of a sudden it just quit. Then he gets back up to speed. Sometimes, and remember, this is the first race of the season again, the fuel tank sometimes suck a little bit of air, the lines do, through the fuel tank. That caused them to quit momentarily.
Sprint to the finish now here in Miami. The first race on this circuit that uses part of Biscayne Boulevard, past the Freedom Tower, the old customs house here. You can see it there just briefly in the shot of the skyline of Miami, and Brian Herta's into the barrier.
Into the tires pretty hard, and he's got some stuff bent up there, so he won't be doing very much more. I think he's going to be out of the race right there, Paul.
He wants them to back him out. But now, as we close with just 10 laps to the finish, the officials will have to make a decision of whether or not it's worthwhile to put anybody on the course and get him out. Dean Hall comes very slowly past that scene.
Notice that Rahal has closed up on Gugelmin. I missed my guess, of course. I thought Rahal would get by